Hey, this is Brent Randall from the group Vanity Mirror, and I'm here on Music of the Future, Behind the Album series, to talk about our new record, Puff, which is out May 12th on We Are Busybodies around the world. And yeah, so it's lovely to be here to chat about it. Vanity Mirror is sort of a whole new project featuring myself, Brent Randall, based in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and my friend Johnny Toomey, who's based in Los Angeles. And we used to play in a group called Electric Looking Glass. When I was living in LA. That's me on the auto harp. There's Johnny on tambourine and a good friend Arash and Danny. And before that, I was here in Toronto. Made records like Gentle Brent and a number of other monikers. I seem to change my name or whatever I'm doing for every few years. Used to be Brent Randall as Pine Cones. And anyway, so Johnny and I met in that group. And so this project came about because I left LA for a while. I was traveling around dealing with some other things. I was in Detroit for a while, Montreal, Toronto, and I had all these songs I wanted to record, and so I just started demoing them. I feel like often when you're creative, it's easy to put stuff off. Oh, once I have this perfect studio set up, then I'll make my album. Or once I get, time off and I can go to a cabin. And, I just want to get in the flow of creating all the time. So I just started demoing in my sort of like portable bedroom studio of all these songs I had. And I wasn't sure if they'd maybe be demos for Electric Looking Glass or Gentle Brent or what. I just started making them. And I sent them to Johnny and see if he wanted to put drums on them. And he put down drums using like a handheld Zoom recorder, which people often use for podcasting or field recording. Emailed them back to me, and then I put them in my sessions, and I had fun just kind of doing piano and bass and guitar and vocals, sort of everything else, just in my bedroom. So that was really nice to kind of work that way, because I've always kind of wanted to do a record that way, but I feel like I often feel like, oh, I need to work with this person or that person, but I feel like sometimes, I don't know, it was an exercise in trusting myself and kind of really making something how I wanted it to be. But yeah, again, these were demos that we started to really love how they sounded. And yeah, like I was saying, we briefly thought, hey, should we go into a studio to re-record the good versions of this? But that seems silly because we all spent all this time making them and we loved them just how they were. And so Electric Looking Glass was going to probably wait until I was back in LA to do any more stuff again. And so I thought, well, I just want to get this material out. I don't like sitting on material because then I get sick of it. I just like to keep in the flow, make stuff, share it, get on with our lives. It's only rock and roll. And so I said to Johnny one day, how about we just release this as is, because we thought maybe they were just demos at first. It's a bit more lo-fi. And we started sharing it with people, and people said, it doesn't sound lo-fi to me, it sounds great. And I'm like, yeah, true. So we did it, And so we have a new name, Vanity Mirror, and we call the album Puff, which I don't have any copies of it yet, but I can show you. Let me see if I can bring it up for you. I don't know if I can. The album art. It's got a little kitty on it, which I don't know why, some stars. And these are supposed to be clouds. I was kind of obsessed with clouds when making the album. There's a track called Look at the Clouds, actually. So Puff is sort of in reference to clouds. It's also in reference to Viva Puff cookies, which is a cookie brand here in Canada I was briefly obsessed with. I don't even eat them, just aesthetically I like them. And so I kind of even wanted to call the project Viva Puff, but we decided against that. So that's how the name came about, Puff. So it's a lovely little record of sort of like homespun lo-fi pop. I think if you like Emitt Rhodes or Beatley stuff, or even sort of 90s indie pop, Belle and Sebastian or Olivia Tremor Control, I don't know. I was also inspired by, outsider music, Daniel Johnson, just, I've always loved demos and more informal music, it's just, there's something more intimate about it. And that's what I love about these songs, is that they were sort of created at home and pieced together, sort of like an audio diary of, but it's still very poppy and lots of interesting multi-tracking going on. So it was a really fun record to make, and kind of the record I always wanted to make, but always felt too self-conscious to do. I always felt like, oh, I should go to the studio, make a good version, or this and that. So it was really nice just to make a record at home in this way. So I'm proud we made that decision. Our good friend Eric at We Are Busybodies is releasing it this spring on a vinyl, and it'll be all around the world. And it's such an incredible label. He does so many interesting things. He reissues lots of old, world music and, interesting records from around the world, and new music of all genres from many interesting artists. So we feel really privileged to be a part of that family. And so we've been making some videos, sharing them on our Instagram, and it's been a lot of fun. And we're hoping to play some shows in Europe this fall. And we're working on our second record, much in the same vein, kind of working at home, expanding our genres a bit. We're doing some more, branching out into some even more lo-fi rock and roll kind of stuff, but also more like musical, some ballads, and kind of like, after playing Looking Glass, our previous group was really genre specific in many ways. So the exciting thing about this, it can kind of be whatever, and we both have varied tastes and goals. So excited to do more interesting recording, and excited to share it with you. So thanks for having me here today to talk about our new album, Puff by Vanity Mirror, out this spring, and we hope you like it. We hope you dig it, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Toodaloo.